Greetings, Earthlings. I have another update from the Absurdium for you. I actually have two stories that I want to put together because this is relevant and this is all to do with sleight of hand and what's going on with Satan Yahoo. This attack on Iran is completely unnecessary. It's illegal. You can't call it a preemptive strike if there was no strike coming from Iran, as they were in the middle of negotiations. Now, you may have seen some people throwing this 80% enrichment figure around. That's absolute bullshit. And there is a trove of leaked documents which prove that Israel has compromised the head of the IAEA, Grossi, I can't remember his first name. And he's been passing information to the Israelis on names of scientists and their facilities. Okay, so again, we're just not an honest broker here. And remember, Israel is not signed up to the NPT. They haven't even admitted to having nukes. So this is, we're in la la land now. Like, everything you believe to be true is false. I will go over why this is provably nonsense after I just quickly cover the story in Zateo from one of the people that resigned from the GHF. It's a long article, so I'm just going to skip to a few pertinent points. It's exclusive. American security contractor unloads on US-Israeli Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. I thought I was signing up for an aid mission, but what I've witnessed in Gaza is horrific. Now, they've allowed in anonymity for obvious reasons. He talks of people being given machine guns, flashbang grenades, pepper spray with no training. And, of course, everything that you think could go wrong went wrong. I'm going to go to the chapter called Pure Chaos. So on my first day, the second official day of the mission, we were overrun. It was pure chaos at the aid site's entrance gates. We had people waiting in 5 lanes separated by metal fencing. 1 lane was strictly for women and children. The other 4 were all men, and they were letting people in 5, 10, 20 at a time. Whatever we could handle, it was not organised, and people were getting smushed and trampled. Eventually, there were so many people in the lanes, the gates burst. We fell back, letting people get the aid. They were never aggressive towards us. They were only trying to get aid. Aid, by the way, that consisted of flour, rice, lentils, tea bags, and noodles. Things that need water. I noticed that straight away. They don't have any water, and we're not giving out water. Okay, this is a fucking smokescreen. We soon had to fall back again, but to a second perimeter. At that point, some personnel started firing warning shots in the air. They were the warning shots that the IDF claimed that they did, but the IDF actually used tank fire. They were. Let me go. This is just horrific. And then, excuse me, we all got in line and began pushing the people out. We're telling crying women trying to pick up food in their families that they had to go. They were looking at this food on the ground that they desperately needed, and they couldn't take it. It was absolutely horrific. One of the guys who was the first to fire a warning shot was also the first I saw make physical contact with a Palestinian. Someone was stooped over picking up supplies, and without missing a beat, the US contractor pushed them to the ground. I was later told that the Israeli military needed to clear these people out because they were going to come through. They soon showed up with tanks as some sort of security presence, but we had pushed the people out by then. This idea that the Israeli military isn't involved is bullshit. They were very much involved. They have offices in our compounds. We share our radio communications with them. The higher-ups claim the Israeli military is not involved, but it feels like they're the man behind the curtain. Sure, they're not on site with us, but their snipers and tanks are just hundreds of meters away. You can hear them shooting all day. The aftermath of the chaos was just as remarkable. During these long-hour shifts, food wasn't provided. We were given a stipend to get our own groceries back in Israel, but there just wasn't much time for that, let alone to sleep. Some of our guys were eating the aid just scattered all over the site. Aid trap. One episode sticks with me. We were monitoring an empty site all day, sometimes after dark. Dozens of flatbed trucks finally brought aid. The Israeli military soon radioed in that 200 to 300 civilians a couple of kilometers, less than 2 miles north, were approaching. We then observed an Israeli drone go out there. Shortly thereafter, that area started getting lit up with artillery. The generous interpretation, maybe the Israelis were firing between our position and the people in order to keep them from moving forward. I don't think that's the case. After all, tank fire all day near the aid site, sniper fire from what used to be a hospital, bombs and bullets fly all day long in one direction, towards Palestinians. Okay. There's enough footage now for you to understand that these are kill zones. And the fact that they're providing them with dry goods that provide water and not providing water means that this is a complete sham. So let's get to the attack on Iran, because this is pertinent, because this is going to draw the eyes away from what's going on in Gaza. And this is a preemptive attack. That's just not true. Absolutely provably bullshit. Grossi, the IAEA, is being handing Israel information. That's in leaked documents that Iran has got hold of, and they've only just started leaking it, and it's already incredible, the stuff that they're showing, including Netanyahu bugging his opponents' houses by putting spy cameras in their bathrooms, in their bedrooms. Like, this guy is corrupt as it comes. So, the US is claiming that they're not involved and that they were given a heads up, but they didn't sanction this. Well, unfortunately, there's a 2009 report from the Brookings Institute called Which Path to Persia, which completely blows that theory out of the water. And the thing that you need to know about the Brookings Institute is who funds it. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Google, HSBC, among the usual suspects. Okay? So, of the many options available to them, of which there are several, like all-out war, sanctions, regime change, the most interesting one is, I believe it's Chapter 5. Let's go there now. Yes, Chapter 5. Leave it to Bibi. For anyone who doesn't know, Bibi is Netanyahu's nickname. So, leave it to Bibi, allowing or encouraging an Israeli military strike. You need to read this. There's a lot of information in here. This is a full document. I will leave a link to the PDF here, but this is undeniable. This has been in playing for decades. And how you do this when there's negotiations going, is it round 6 is due tomorrow, and then they do a preemptive strike. They've killed 6 of their scientists. They killed the head of the IRGC. This is an act of war. And Russia has already said that they're risking all-out war in the Middle East by doing this, because they will stand by Iran. And this is as much about China as it is about Iran. This is about white supremacy in West Asia and the Middle East, and also about Wall Street and Western oligarchs wanting that road, the old Silk Road, what is that China is calling the BRI. It's about stopping China from developing that. Now, we arm and fund terrorists. We have the most corrupt leaders in the world, and we back as an ethno-supremacist state that won't even admit to having nukes. They won't join the NPT because they haven't admitted to having them, which is completely insane. And yet you're going to bully Iran and tell a sovereign nation what they can and can't do. This is like, I just, fuck, man. And with the whole AI thing, like, we're approaching the singularity now. And I don't know if anybody remembers the Running Man and the Butcher of Bakersfield thing, where they mapped Arnold Schwarzenegger onto somebody else actually doing the crime. We're not far away from that. They're going to be able to start actually creating the reality visibly rather than just selling it as propaganda. These are dangerous times, and I'm frankly looking for a non-NATO country to move to. You may think I'm alarmist, but look at what's going on in Northern Ireland right now. There is going to be more unrest coming, and that is going to be fomented by the likes of Mossad, who, as it turned out, were in control of 4chan. Somebody hacked it. Half of all the posts on 4chan come from Israel, and there are multiple Mossad operatives on there, and it's a honeypot. They scrape all your data so they can see what people are believing, so that they can manipulate reality. They are the puppet masters now. We're so fucked.